Across the globe, from the savannas of Africa to the rainforests of the Amazon, a silent crisis is unfolding. Wildlife poaching, driven by insatiable greed and fueled by a thriving black market, is decimating animal populations at an alarming rate. This illicit trade not only robs us of some of the planet's most iconic and irreplaceable creatures, but also throws delicate ecosystems into disarray. The consequences of inaction are dire. The loss of keystone species can trigger a domino effect, impacting plant life, water sources, and the delicate balance of entire ecosystems. In this film, we will journey deep into the heart of this crisis, examining the intricate web of factors that perpetuate wildlife poaching. We'll delve into the shocking statistics, expose the economic drivers, and shed light on the devastating impact on endangered species. Furthermore, we will uncover the sinister role of organized crime and explore the ongoing efforts to combat this global threat. The numbers paint a grim picture. Every year, tens of thousands of elephants are slaughtered for their ivory, their majestic tusks fueling a trade fueled by demand in distant markets. Rhinos, their horns falsely believed to hold medicinal properties, are poached relentlessly, their numbers dwindling at an alarming rate. Pangolins, the world's most trafficked mammals, are hunted for their scales, used in traditional medicine and fashion accessories. The illegal wildlife trade, estimated to be worth billions of dollars annually, operates in the shadows, often intertwined with other criminal activities like drug and arms trafficking. These figures represent more than just statistics. They represent the loss of irreplaceable lives, the disruption of intricate ecosystems, and the potential extinction of species that have roamed the Earth for millennia. The illegal wildlife trade operates on a global scale, with demand from affluent consumers in Asia, Europe, and North America driving the slaughter of animals in some of the world's most biodiverse regions. The methods employed by poachers are often brutal and indiscriminate, leaving behind a trail of carnage. Snares set to trap animals often maim and injure indiscriminately, catching not only the intended targets but also other animals that stumble into them. The fight against poaching is a race against time, a battle to protect our planet's natural heritage for future generations. It is a battle that requires a concerted global effort, one that addresses both the supply and demand sides of this devastating trade. The statistics may seem overwhelming, but they also serve as a stark reminder of the urgency of the situation. Every number represents a life lost, a species pushed closer to the brink. It is a call to action, a plea for greater awareness, and a demand for stricter enforcement and harsher penalties for those who seek to profit from the destruction of our planet's wildlife. To truly understand the poaching crisis, we must look beyond the gruesome images and delve into the economic factors that fuel this illicit trade. Poverty and lack of opportunity drive communities to poaching, often exploited by criminal networks. These organizations offer meager sums for animal parts that fetch high prices in the black market. Demand for these products, driven by beliefs and status, devastates species and ecosystems. Economic disparities between nations perpetuate the poaching crisis. High demand in affluent countries and weak law enforcement create a perfect storm for illegal trade. Lack of alternative livelihoods leaves communities with few options but to exploit natural resources. Addressing economic drivers requires poverty alleviation, sustainable development, and alternative livelihoods. Investing in education and awareness is crucial to dispel myths and foster stewardship for natural resources. By addressing the root causes of poaching, we can break the cycle of poverty and exploitation. Empowering local communities to manage and benefit from wildlife is essential for long-term conservation. This includes providing tools, resources, and knowledge for sustainable wildlife management. The fight against poaching is about addressing socioeconomic factors, not just law enforcement. By creating a world where communities thrive without exploiting wildlife, we can ensure harmony between people and animals. The impact of poaching on endangered species is nothing short of catastrophic. Iconic animals like elephants, rhinos, and tigers are being pushed to the brink of extinction, their numbers decimated by the insatiable demand for their body parts. The African elephant, a keystone species vital for maintaining the health of savanna ecosystems, has experienced a devastating decline in recent decades. Their ivory tusks, highly prized in some cultures, fuel a trade that has decimated elephant populations across Africa. The black rhino, once widespread across Africa, has been poached to near extinction for its horn, falsely believed to hold medicinal properties in some traditional medicine systems. The Javan rhino, found only in a small protected area in Indonesia, is critically endangered, with fewer than 100 individuals remaining due to habitat loss and poaching. Tigers, the largest of the big cats, have suffered a dramatic decline in their numbers due to habitat loss and poaching for their skins, bones and other body parts used in traditional medicine and as status symbols. Pangolins, the world's most trafficked mammals, are hunted for their scales used in traditional medicine and fashion accessories, despite their ecological importance as insectivores. The loss of these iconic species has far-reaching consequences for the delicate balance of ecosystems. Elephants, for example, play a crucial role in seed dispersal, creating clearings in forests that promote biodiversity and digging water holes that benefit other animals. Rhinos as herbivores shape their environment through grazing, influencing plant diversity and ecosystem structure. The extinction of these keystone species can trigger a cascade effect, leading to the decline of other plant and animal populations, ultimately disrupting the intricate web of life that sustains healthy ecosystems. The illegal wildlife trade is not the work of lone poachers, but a sophisticated criminal enterprise orchestrated by powerful international syndicates. These organized crime networks, driven by greed and operating with ruthless efficiency, exploit weak law enforcement, corrupt officials and porous borders to traffic animal parts across continents. They employ sophisticated smuggling techniques, concealing illicit cargo in shipping containers, luggage, and even using unsuspecting tourists as mules. The profits generated from the illegal wildlife trade often fuel other criminal activities, including drug trafficking, arms smuggling, and human trafficking, further destabilizing already fragile regions. The involvement of organized crime elevates the poaching crisis from a conservation issue to a global security threat. These criminal networks, with their vast resources and connections, pose a significant challenge to law enforcement agencies worldwide. Combating this threat requires international cooperation, intelligence sharing, and coordinated efforts to dismantle these criminal networks at their source. This includes targeting the kingpins and financiers who orchestrate the trade, disrupting their supply chains, and seizing their assets. Strengthening law enforcement capacity in source and transit countries is crucial, providing rangers and law enforcement officials with the training, equipment, and resources they need to effectively combat poaching and wildlife trafficking. Raising public awareness about the link between organized crime and the illegal wildlife trade is essential to garnering public support for stricter laws, harsher penalties, and increased funding for conservation efforts. By exposing the dark underbelly of this illicit trade, we can shine a light on the true cost of poaching, not just for wildlife, but for global security and human well-being. The fight against poaching is a fight against organized crime, a fight to protect our planet's natural heritage and create a safer and more just world for all. The fight against poaching demands a global collaborative response. Across the world, dedicated individuals and organizations are working tirelessly to protect endangered species and disrupt trafficking networks. Anti-poaching patrols risk their lives daily to protect wildlife from poachers. They use traditional tracking methods and modern technology to deter poaching activities. Community-based programs empower locals to protect their natural heritage. Providing alternative livelihoods and education fosters a sense of responsibility. Technological advancements are crucial in the fight against poaching. Drones provide real-time intelligence to anti-poaching units. DNA analysis helps trace the origin of wildlife products, aiding prosecutions. International agreements like CITES regulate wildlife trade and prevent exploitation. Raising public awareness about poaching is paramount. Educating consumers about the impact of illegal wildlife trade is essential. The fight against poaching is a race against time to protect our natural heritage. It requires a global effort addressing both supply and demand. By supporting conservation efforts and making conscious choices, we can ensure a future where wildlife thrives. The illegal wildlife trade is a complex issue with far-reaching consequences. As we have seen, it is driven by a combination of economic disparities, organized crime, and a demand for wildlife products that is pushing countless species towards extinction. However, there is hope. By addressing the root causes of poaching, strengthening law enforcement, and fostering international cooperation, we can disrupt this illicit trade and protect our planet's remaining wildlife. The future of wildlife is in our hands. By supporting conservation efforts, making responsible consumer choices, and raising awareness about this critical issue, we can create a world where both people and wildlife can thrive.